Good morning, grade 3. How are you today? Today, we will take a new lesson. How scientists answer questions. How scientists answer questions. Lesson objectives. To analyze how scientists use experiments and conduct investigations to answer questions. To analyze how scientists use experiments and conduct investigation to answer. Before I start with you, I want to show you here an experiment. I hope from you to do it, all of you. I'll show you this experiment. Listen.
Models can help answer questions, but there are limitations. Observe. The length of this finger is 62 millimeters. The height is 15 millimeters. Let's measure our model. The length of the finger on our model is 64 millimeters. The height is 0.
So I want from you, all of you, to measure, if you can, measure your fingers, the height and the length. Now let me complete our lesson. Okay. I told you, spread out your finger and put, as you see, and put your hand flat on a piece of paper. Measure the length of the longest finger, measure its height and record. Make a model by tracing your hand, measure the length of the longest finger on your model, measure its highest record. Now, question number 3, explain. Use model to help them answer questions. Scientists use models to help them answer questions, but models have limitation. Does your model account for all your observation of your real finger? Explain. The measurement 62, and this is sample data, and 60. Here the real, it's 15, and when you model your finger on a paper, the height is 0. Now, does your model account for all your observation of your real finger? No. Although both are about the same length, the model is flat, but the height of my finger is about 15 millimeter. Now, kinds of investigation that scientists use. Scientists are like detectives. So they investigate or look for answers using organized steps. Some investigations involve observing and describing things or events. So, some investigations involve observing and describing things or events. Other investigation may involve to collect samples and building models. Remember, when we make our observe, what we will use? If you remember, we will use to observe our senses, our 5 senses. Okay. Now here they observe, collect data, and what else? and collecting samples, building models, and describing, if you see here, describing things or model. Now, experiment. What is it, experiment? Is an investigation carried out under caref- carefully controlled conditions. So, is an investigation carried out under carefully controlled controlled conditions. Scientists might do experiments to find out if a new medicine works better than an old medicine. So, scientists might do an experiment to find out if a new medicine works better than an old medicine. Now, as I told you, scientists are like detectives. As I told you, scientists are like detectives. They investigate or look for answers using organized steps. Now, different questions require different kinds of investigation. Some investigations involve by observing and describing things or events. Other investigation may involve collecting samples or building models, or as we see in the picture, collecting models, collecting samples, building models, observing, and describing things. Now, an experiment is an investigation. So, what is it? Experiment is an investigation carried out under carefully controlled conditions. A scientist might do an experiment to find out if a new medicine works better than an old medicine. Who can read for us question number one? Okay, text features. What does heading tell about this page? The heading about this page. I will show you the heading. Kinds of investigation. Okay. Now it tells that the paragraphs are about kind of investigations. Excellent answer. It tells that the paragraphs are about kinds of investigations. Now I want another one to read for us question number two and answer. Okay. Number two, analyze. These students you see here in the picture are observing and describing flowers. Write what question you think they are investigating. Okay. The question, how quickly do the flowers grow? How quickly do the flowers grow? Excellent answer. Okay, thank you, my dear students, and we will complete our lesson tomorrow, inshallah.